This is 1480 KRAE Cheyenne. What you are about to hear is a sports talk radio show unlike any other that has ever before been broadcast in the capital city of Cheyenne, Wyoming, USA. This is Cheyenne, Wyoming's Sports Talk Authority. The Wyoming Cowboys, the Denver Broncos, the Colorado Rockies, and the Denver Nuggets. The show is local. It's regional, and yes, the show is national as well. Wyoming Sports Talk Today is on the air. If they're talking sports on the radio in Cheyenne, this is the place it happens. This is Wyoming Sports Talk Today.
Good Friday afternoon. It is Wyoming Sports Talk Today. Larry Prawati along with Nick Prawati, and we do want to let you know that our scoreboard today, our Wyoming Sports Talk Today is being brought to you by Taco John's of Cheyenne. Also, Jolly Rogers RV Sales and Service on Highway 30. Chick-fil-A at the corner of Windmill and Delrange, directly across from Menards. 2 convenient drive-thrus, serving up 3 squares, 6 days a week. We also want to thank Platte Valley Bank ×2, Rick and the gang over on Vanda High, and, of course, the east side location at the corner of College and Pershing. Medicap Pharmacy for all your pharmaceutical needs with your doctor's prescription. Let Gene and the great staff take care of those meds. Let them explain them to you. They have a convenient drive-thru, a plethora of goodies inside as well at Medicap Pharmacy, Bluegrass Circle, next door to Texas Roadhouse. Lennox Auto Body ×2, the Auto and Truck Repair Center on Dunn Avenue, the Auto Glass and Detail Center over on Pershing Boulevard, First Tier Bank, 1508 Stillwater Avenue. Talk to them about their special CD rates with great annual percentage yields right now. They're at 1508 Stillwater Avenue, open Monday through Friday. Open 7 days a week, directly across the street. Paisan cuisine at its finest from Joe Mondello and the gang over at Mondello's Pizzeria, 1507 Stillwater Avenue, Suite D in the Greenway Commons. Mars Plumbing and Heating, there for you 24/7. Remember, they're at 1515 Logan Avenue, and we get things underway with our scoreboard. It is being brought to you by Pepsi of Cheyenne. Here's Nick.
NHL action for tonight. St. Louis Blues will travel to New York to see the Rangers at Madison Square Garden. Also, 2 Pittsburgh Penguins will host the Nashville Preds. New Jersey Devils travel to Detroit to see the Red Wings at Little Caesars Arena. Colorado Avalanche at home. They will host the Arizona Coyotes at the Pepsi Center. Calgary Flames at the Scotiabank Saddledome take on the Anaheim Ducks. And last but not least, the Vegas Golden Knights at home in Sin City. They'll be at T-Mobile Arena. They'll take on the Minnesota Wild. Speaking of which, NHL for the playoff scenarios, St. Louis can clinch a playoff berth tonight if they are able to get at least 1 point, or if Arizona loses in any fashion. Vegas will also clinch a playoff berth tonight if they are able to get 1 point, or if Arizona loses in any fashion as well. That's what's happening. NHL action for tonight.
Major League Baseball, Tigers and the Blue Jays in the Rogers Center this evening. Astros and the Rays and the Trop. Rocks and the Marlins at Marlins Park. Herman Marquez will get the call for Colorado. It will be the Cardinals at the Brewers at Miller Park, Angels and the Athletics in the Oco. The Diamondbacks and the Dodgers at Chavez Ravine, Giants Padres at Petco, and the late night game will have the Mariners taking on the Red Sox, and that will be at T-Mobile Park in Seattle. On to the NBA scoreboard. Here's what's happening with action on the hardwood. Celtics in the TD Garden playing host to the Pacers. Trailblazers at the Hawks in the State Farm Arena. Warriors and the Timberwolves. Warriors now the 1 full game lead over the Denver Nuggets for that number 1 seed. Warriors and the Timberwolves in the Target Center. Nuggets and the Thunder in the Chesapeake Energy Arena in OKC. Wizards Jazz at the Vivint Smart Home Arena in Salt Lake City. And at Staples, it will be the Hornets and the Lakers. And if you missed out, you happen to be in another time zone, it was the Wyoming Cowgirls defeating the Lady Waves of Pepperdine last night in front of 5,100 and change. In the AA, it was the Cowgirls winning 61-60.
Good.
Move on to the Elite Eight.
Yeah, the Elite Eight and the WNIT. Again, not at least a good crowd, but not good enough against the folks out in Tucson, Arizona. So, unfortunately, for the Wyoming Cowgirls, they got to go to Arizona to see the Lady Wildcats.
They'll face the Lady Wildcats 3 p.m. coming up on Sunday. Our scoreboard brought to you by Pepsi of Cheyenne.
Hi, I'm Alex White, tea master at Pure Leaf. When I make tea, everything I know goes into it. You can't be impatient. When I craft Pure Leaf iced tea, I don't take shortcuts, because I want you to have the same amazing taste of iced tea that I do. So I start with fresh picked tea leaves. Then, after they're delicately dried, I blend and brew them at a lower temperature to draw out their unique aromas. And then I taste and fine-tune the blend for a delicious smooth iced tea. I'd love to have you take a sip right now, but that's one thing we can't do over the radio. But you can experience the same delicious taste of Pure Leaf iced tea anywhere you are. I'm Alex White, Pure Leaf Tea Master. Pure Leaf, our thing is tea.
If it happens on the diamond, the hardwood, the field, or even the ice, we'll talk about it on Wyoming Sports Talk today. Hi, this is Nick Peretti inviting you to join Larry Peretti and myself each weekday from 3 to 5 p.m. as we, along with our special guests, talk sports locally, regionally, and nationally. And you can chat with us too at 307-514-1071. It's Wyoming Sports Talk today only on 1480 KRAE, and you can stream live with us at 1480krae.com.
MHP is a certified public accounting and consulting firm located in Bow, Cheyenne, and Fort Collins, offering accounting, tax, and consulting services to businesses, not-for-profit, government, and individual clients. MHP takes pride in their commitment to providing close, personal attention to their clients. They also continue to invest time and resources in continuing education, state-of-the-art computer technology, and valuing their relationships with you. MHP is a proud supporter of local and UW athletics. MHP, 314 West 18th Street, or call 634-2151. Looking for an IT company with friendly, local customer service and the expertise to handle any job? Then go with a name you trust, High West Digital Solutions, a High West energy company. We handle everything from business network management to personal computer problems to same-day phone and tablet repairs. Visit our website at hwds.com or call 307-245-4333 and speak to a real live human being, local, polite, and eager to help. High West Digital Solutions, the best choice, the local choice, the right choice for you.
You love the Lennox difference, from collision repair to minor nicks and dents. Certified quality you can trust. Nobody cares about your car more than us. Lennox Auto Body, we do what we say. We fix it right and get you on your way. No shortcuts, no compromise. Lennox Auto Body. No shortcuts, no compromise.
Lennox Auto Body at 1020 Dunn Avenue and the Detail Center at 617 East Pershing Boulevard, Cheyenne.
AJ Miller here for Kia of Cheyenne. We're starting our 14th year and still strive to put you first by making it easy for you to own a new Kia. Right now, we can help get you into a 2019 Kia Sorento comparably equipped for less than Toyota Highlander, Jeep Grand Cherokee, or Ford Edge. The 2019 Kia Sorento comes standard with power heated exterior mirrors, rear camera display, remote keyless entry, and more. Come into Kia of Cheyenne, call 775-0123 or go to kiaofcheyenne.com. We'll make it easy.
Here's the latest weather forecast on 1480 KRAE.
For today, it'll be cloudy with rain and snow showers likely with highs around 41. If it's tonight, it'll be cloudy once again with snow showers likely with lows around 23 and winds out the north at 10 to 15. On Saturday, it'll be partly sunny with highs around 36. And on Saturday night, it'll be partly cloudy with lows around 21.
When it comes to sports talk in Cheyenne, it's a whole new ballgame. Let's play ball! You're listening to Wyoming Sports Talk today, and it's only here on AM 1480 KRAE.
It's 80s week before spring break, and we get South High Athletic Director Mark Puev joining us in our studios, as we've had both Chad Whitworth and yesterday Jerry Schlabb. So Mark's day today. He gets Friday. It's Miller time right now. As the weekend is finally here, and then again, I'm sure you're looking forward to spring break. Good to see you again. Good to chat with you here on Wyoming Sports Talk today.
Well, it's nice to be here again, guys. You know, it's always nice for you guys to have us out there and come on out and talk about things.
You know, and what we want to do is, and we'll get a recap of what we've had in the fall, winter. Of course, we're into spring sports right now, and you and Nick were just talking about, and myself, and we'll get into some of these logistics. Tomorrow you have soccer. Today you get to sit back and enjoy a Friday. So
Today you get a plan out of how you deal with the upcoming weather.
Well, and again, that's just it. You know, as the AD, you got to keep your eye on the sky, so to speak. And if something does develop, you got contingency plans in place.
Well, yeah, and you know the thing is you want to have a plan A, definitely. And the joke is, when somebody asks you what's plan B, and you say plan B is to make plan A work, but in realism, you have to have something ready. And when we were talking about the weather and whatnot, you do have to always be looking ahead, because you don't want to try to figure it out when it happens. You got to have something already in the works.
It's interesting here, and again, if I remember, you came from Iowa over here, about 3 years ago?
Yeah, this is my fourth year. I came
Fourth
from
year.
Council Bluffs, Iowa.
And I don't know what the weather was like there in the Midwest as opposed to here in the Rocky Mountain region, but it seems like anytime we try to put a spring event on outside, whether it's track, whether it's soccer, stick a fork in it. It's usually going to be cold and ugly up until about the last couple weeks of April, maybe.
Well, and even then, I remember, I think it was 2 years ago that we got 14 inches of snow on the first day of the state track meet in the middle of May. So there's no promises. That's the nice thing and neat thing and weird thing about this area, is that you could be wearing shorts at noon and you got the heater on in your car at night on the way home, just because it just drops that bad and the weather goes that way.
Interesting point that you made to me, and again, all of the schools have the all-weather turf, and I think that's a neat deal that, the grass and the mud and everything's all gone now. So, unfortunately, like the National Football League teams or the Major League Baseball teams, they've got heating elements underneath these all-weather turfs. But in your case, and as well as at East and Central, once you have that snow removed off of the field, these all-weather turf ingredients, the crushed tires, it seems to absorb that remaining liquid that's on the field.
Yeah, where we've had huge success is when it's coming down, but you're going to get a break in the weather, and as soon as the clouds can clear up and you get any amount of sun on that turf, it just provides that amount because of the chopped up tires in it, that black resin, whatever you call it, it provides that extra heat element, the thermal element, that it's going to kind of help melt it from the bottom up of whatever's remaining.
You and me, we come back, we come from the old AstroTurf days. And again, this is a night and day difference with AstroTurf. And again, and I know where I first played AstroTurf on AstroTurf was Diablo Valley College, and you would be on a cement surface with about a half-inch of rubber and then the plastic grass. But this surface that they have come into play now, again, fewer injuries, absolutely, on this type of surface. But the all-weather surface now, just a blessing, I guess.
It is, especially when you get into a climate like this where you do rely. Sometimes our district has been really good as far as being able to plow that, as long as you don't get, feet of snow. If you got that couple inches that you just can't see the turf, you give them enough advance notice, and in 45 minutes they can have that thing completely cleared off. You won't be able to get that with grass. It just gets into mud and turns into slop, and you just don't have that advantage anymore. So once you get this field turf, it really does help you out.
So basically, it sounds like it's manageable enough for this kind of climate, this region, where we kind of toss it out to Jerry and Chad of, hey, is it something where this all-weather turf helps out, or at least kind of takes care of business, allow these athletes to play, or is it something that the city of Cheyenne needs to kind of look at, or whether it's Laramie County School District number 1 to look at, of an indoor kind of facility to at least potentially give soccer, at least don't have to worry about soccer or for track or for anything else? Is it something where, in your eyes so far, it's manageable enough where, hey, we can attempt to get that full season without any too major of a hiccup?
Well, no, it is definitely manageable now because we can make it work. If it gets so much snow that they can't plow it off, odds are that the visiting team ain't going to get here anyway. Now, I would never look a gift horse in the mouth if they want to build the Puev Dome or whatever you want to call it out there. Like Laramie has the IPF that they share with the university, and we've had to play twice out there. I've moved a game with Gillette. They were so nice to let us do that there a couple of years back, and it's pretty neat where you can it can be going bananas outside, and you can have just a beautiful indoor facility going.
I like that. The Puev Dome.
Yeah.
We'll coin that.
Why not?
I like that.
Mark, in your fourth season now here in Cheyenne, again, Jerry and Chad, they've had a close relationship because going to school together and coaching together. Have you had that opportunity now with the three schools being here in town? Do you have that opportunity to exchange ideas between the three of you?
Oh, we've done that. I don't know if it's been an exchange of ideas as much as me trying to suck as much information out of them as possible, but they've been extremely gracious. The ADs around this state are extremely gracious with their time and with their thoughts and with their advice. Where anytime I've ever had an issue, a problem, a dilemma, they've always taken my phone call. They've always invited me in to share with me and help me out. I think that's part of the thing, especially even here in Cheyenne, that and our district even knows this, that when there's a problem, we call each other and we help each other out. Whether it's one of the fields is not manageable and we need to move a game from one school to the other, done. So we've done that. The communication between the three ADs in Cheyenne is really good too. People look at us and they think that we must hate each other, and the fact is that, you know, yeah, on game day we want to beat each other, but the fact of the matter is if there's problems on the roads and one of us catches it, there's usually a text or a phone call that goes to the other two saying, hey, by the way, this is happening. You probably ought to be aware of this. Because the worst thing, again, the biggest bottom line is we're here for the kids, and the worst thing to happen is something to happen to some of those kids, especially when it could have been prevented. So when two schools go somewhere or two schools figure it out and they don't tell that third school, that puts kids in harm's way, and that hasn't happened to this point.
We're talking with Mark Puev, South High Athletic Director. Go ahead, Nick.
I was going to say, keeping with the theme, at least with talking to the other athletic directors, obviously with you kind of fresh here in town, those who have been established, been around the ranks here in the city of Cheyenne, also too, at least ADing over at two schools that have had history and at least had success and, again, notoriety around the city, where Cheyenne South is still kind of in that infancy compared to Central or East. But is it something with you at least kind of picking their brain to learn the history of what's at least athletics been at the two high schools, or at least when it was only one high school here in the city of Cheyenne? And then second part of that question as well, too, as we've kind of asked Jerry and Chad, is how big is establishing history for Cheyenne South? How big is it to maybe talk about past history that's happened here in the city of Cheyenne? Not necessarily at Cheyenne South, but look at other athletes that have come through the ranks here in the city of Cheyenne to move on to bigger and better things.
I don't know if I'm too concerned with establishing history as much as we are just starting a tradition. That's kind of where we are right now. We're 10 years in, and you know that sounds like a long time for those of you that have been here for a while. That seems, wow, has it been that long? And when you look at the duration of a school, that's really not that old. You know, they started that a decade ago. We're starting to have some success in some sports, and you know what? It's almost a generational type thing. It's not something you can just turn the light switch on and it happens. It has to. There's going to be a lot of hard work, and the coaches that we have down there right now know that, and they understand it's a daunting task, but it's something that's going to have to go through, you know, before we start to see a cycle of repeated success.
One of the things, too, that we had a chance to chat with the other athletic directors, get your input, the cry for girls softball. Now, we know that the Extreme, again, Adam Galicia and the Extreme have had a very successful run. Matter of fact, they had their first tournament last weekend, as both ADs alluded to. And, you know, obviously you keep in touch with all of the athletics that are going on around the community. Would South High and would you go along, I guess, with the group? I mean, we're pretty doggone close to making this a high school sport.
Yeah, more and more other districts are starting to pass us or go towards that direction. We've been told that Cheyenne it's a all or nothing thing. You're not going to have one of the high schools have it and two not, or two and one not. It's going to be an all or nothing thing. So whether I want to go, I'll do whatever I'm supposed to do. You know, we have the sports that we have now, and I support them fully. If the city, the state, whatever the beings are that say that, hey, we're going to go this way, great, I'm all for it. Anything that will give kids opportunities, as long as it is feasible, I'm all for it. And if that is something that the board and the schools and as a district we say is good for our kids, I'm supporting it 100% because it is just that. It's for our kids.
Is there ever a worry about lack of numbers where where you have to split time between the club team, whether it is Cheyenne Extreme, even with the baseball program, if high school baseball ever happens, but again, where you do have the three schools and something that you've already at least experienced so far this season, and we'll talk a little bit more about it with at least boys soccer, also to football saw it with kind of low numbers that had to affect a few other kind of sophomore JV squads. But is there any hesitation on your part when that could be a possibility to come to Cheyenne South of, are we going to have enough to at least fit a full team to play at least softball for Cheyenne South?
Well, that's always a hesitation in any of the sports or in anything that you're trying for the first time. We talked about it as a group of ADs a little while ago, that the last thing we want to see is to start something, not do the homework, and have it fall flat on its face in a couple of years. Then we look like we did not do our due diligent research on this and homework on this. So whatever happens, and I don't, especially here for the city, the state's going to do what they're going to do, and I have no say on what the other communities do. But I really hope that whatever we do here in Cheyenne, that and I think we are doing this after communication with the other two and our district. We are proceeding, I don't want to say cautiously, but we want to make sure that we go into this with our eyes wide open and know exactly what to expect. Costs, numbers, interest, make sure that it's there.
How do you put the filling out process for at least for softball? Is it something that you kind of put out a questionnaire, or just talk to me about how do you figure out that you have enough numbers or at least interest there at Cheyenne South or any other at least high school here in the city of Cheyenne to say, yes, we have enough to fit a team. Yes, this can be feasible here for Cheyenne South, Central, or East.
Well, it kind of will be more of an educated guess, kind of like you said, a survey or whatnot. But we're almost at that point right now where we're kind of, we met with the Extreme, we talked with them, and I'm sure we'll have more talks with them coming forward. I believe the next step is it's going to go the idea and the thought process, and the concept is going to go before our board coming up here. You probably already got that from the other two guys. And then if we're told that, yes, we'd like to keep on going and keep on pursuing this and see what it is, then it would be some sort of a survey that we get out there. And we'd want to make sure it's comprehensive enough to make sure that we are providing new opportunities, because we don't want to, and if it did come to pass, it would be in the spring. But if we did that, we would want to make sure that anybody that is playing, that we're not just robbing 30 to 50 to 80 kids from girls soccer and girls track and field. Because if all you're doing is doing that, you haven't created more opportunities. You've just spread it out in a different fashion. And it doesn't matter if you just take the same amount of sports and take soccer players and track people and switch them, or you add something else and you just spread them out that way. You haven't created any new opportunities at that point in time.
Cheyenne South High Fighting Bison Athletic Director Mark Puev join us here on Wyoming Sports Talk today. Take a time out. Come right back.
When you say Mondello Pizzeria, think authentic Italian. When you say Mondello Pizzeria, think made fresh from scratch. When you say Mondello Pizzeria, think great pizza, delicious Philly cheesesteak, superb hot and cold Italian sandwiches, meatballs, sausage, and special subs, calzones, crisp salads, and great service. When you say Mondello's Pizzeria, think unmatched Italian taste. Mondello's Pizzeria, 1507 Stillwater Avenue, your only true Italian stop for lunch or dinner.
Check out the huge savings this week at Town & Country Supermarket Liquors. Here are just a few of the terrific weekly specials. Check out these super radio buys heard only right here. Fireball Cinnamon Whiskey, 1.75-liter bottle, $22.99. Jose Cuervo Gold or Silver Tequila, 1.75-liter bottle, $27.89. And Coors Extra Gold, 30-pack, 12-ounce cans, $16.89. Town & Country Supermarket Liquors on the South Greeley Highway, Cheyenne's low-price leader.
Capital Lumber is number one in Cheyenne. Are you listening? We're all the lumber store you'll ever need. For electrical, plumbing, paint, and tools, lumber and hardware, we're for you. And we're out to earn your business, yes indeed. Capital Lumber is number one today. Are you listening? Capital Lumber's at your service all the way.
Capital Lumber Company serving our area for over 53 years at 1222 Dunn Avenue in Cheyenne. Your locally owned and operated radio stations, KYOI-FM and 1480 KRAE AM, are just that, local, serving Cheyenne and Laramie County, where your advertising dollar stays local too. It doesn't end up in Colorado, Oklahoma, New Hampshire, or even New York. We conduct business here, we shop here, and we live here. And we support our entire community 24/7, 365. Just because it has a window dressing doesn't mean it isn't a facade. A reminder from KYOI and 1480 KRAE.
We are the key to your cleaning success. The Key People that provides affordable office and professional cleaning services for over 40 years with exceptional customer care. All of our contractors have background checks and are licensed and bonded. We guarantee you a safe and secure service that is tailored to your individual and business needs. The Key People do not impose year-long contracts, and all quotes are free, confidential, and personalized. Call Key People at 1-800-468-8283. That's 1-800-468-8283.
MHP is a certified public accounting and consulting firm located in Bow, Cheyenne, and Fort Collins, offering accounting, tax, and consulting services to businesses, not-for-profit, government, and individual clients. MHP takes pride in their commitment to providing close, personal attention to their clients. They also continue to invest time and resources in continuing education, state-of-the-art computer technology, and valuing their relationships with you. MHP is a proud supporter of local and UW athletics. MHP, 314 West 18th Street, or call 634-2151. Is the touchscreen on your phone or tablet cracked or broken? Buying a new device could cost up to $1,000. Or you could let the local experts at High West Digital Solutions save you hundreds of dollars. We can replace your touchscreen in as little as a day, and your satisfaction is guaranteed. Visit our website at hwds.com or call 307-245-4333 and speak to a real live human being. High West Digital Solutions, the best choice, the local choice, the right choice for you.
Tired of lazy and predictable sports talk radio? We know you are. This is Cheyenne's new sports radio home. It's Wyoming Sports Talk Today, and it's right here on AM 1480 KRAE.
We are back on Wyoming Sports Talk Today. South High Athletic Director Mark Puev joined us. You know, we had an interesting little conversation just during the break, and again, as I'm logging all the information that you're giving us, it's hard to believe yet South High, 10 years old already, and the south side of this community, Cheyenne, especially on South Greeley Highway.
Well,
and
south and then east, where we apparently were. If
yeah,
south existed, I would have gone to
in the Sun Valley area, absolutely. But the explosion, population-wise, because again, it's not so much that we're going to throw more people north, we're going to throw more people east, but the south has been growing for the longest time. So you are anticipating more students entering South High, which could equate to student athletes.
Well, I'd hope that would translate to that. You know, we were just doing numbers to send a mailer out to elementary, junior high, and whatnot, and I believe that Johnson Junior High has around 750 kids in there right now for 7th and 8th grade. You divide that by 2, that's about 375 per class. All right, start multiplying that out by the long number of 4 different classes, and now you got a population base that's starting to grow. That puts us up in the 1,400 category, which is getting better, and I think the classes are going to continue to grow.
You know, when you go over to Johnson Junior High and you have that opportunity to chat with either administrators or if you're talking with the student athletes that are going to eventually come over to South, and we noticed that some of the numbers are down, and we'll get into that in a little bit. How do you perceive or how do you sell Cheyenne South to these potential student athletes? Hey, come on over. We've got all these facilities. We have all these opportunities for you. Don't worry about W's and L's. Just come on over and give it your best shot.
Well, you sell it in numbers, and I've been going over there recently to talk to the 8th grade athletes that went out, the ones I got from various coaches on the rosters. I've been meeting with them in small groups and just telling them. And my challenge for the 9th graders, and I'd love it honestly if it happened everywhere, but you know, I can't micromanage other people's places. So at South and at Johnson, my challenge to every incoming 9th grader next year, and you know, if you went and cornered one of them that I talked to, they'd tell you, yeah, he did tell us this. My challenge is for each one of them to go out for 3 sports their freshman year. Several reasons. One, you never know what you're going to be good at. You might be a good athlete at something and just not know it because you think you are, quote, just a soccer, just a swimmer, just a basketball, whatever. And you just haven't tried. You've played those other sports, but not in a competitive setting. And my challenge is for them to do all 3 sports their freshman year. And I told them straight out, face to face, I said, listen, if you do these 3 sports your freshman year, one, I'm not going to kick in your door if you don't go out for basketball, but I'm signing you up for it right now so you can get all the information from the coach. And so you at least meet them so you can see them in the summertime. But if you do all 3 of them, you complete them your freshman year. That's the big one. You can't quit. And your sophomore year, I'm looking and I say, hey, Pete, you didn't do whatever, football. You're not out for that. Why not? And you can look me straight in the eye and say, Puev, listen, I took your challenge. I completed 3 sports last year. I really didn't like this sport, and I really want to do those other 2 sports. I'll tell them, I'll shake their hand. I'll say, listen, just keep your grades up and make sure you stay in touch. Make sure you're working out.
How much control does your coaches at Cheyenne South have over coaching staffs over at Johnson Junior High? Is it something where they could go to football, basketball, swimming, and kind of say, hey, here's the play style that I'm running. I want you to do it as well, too, for these incoming 8th graders, 7th graders who are eventually going to head on over to Cheyenne South. Is it something that coaches there at Cheyenne South have that ability to, or is it you're kind of still 2 separate entities, and those coaching staff does what they want, and South does what they want?
It's pretty the latter of those two. That it's they invite them over, and some of the coaches do come over, and we invite them to our camps and whatnot. And if they want to even come over on the sideline, they're more than welcome to always do that. Our high school staffs has always shared information as much as if there's ever any questions, they can come do whatever they want to do. But at the end of the day, it's not a subsidiary of our athletic department. Johnson is their own athletic department, and we are our own. They know that I will do anything I can to help them out in any way, shape, or form. We've tried to host as many of at least one contest from Johnson up in our place. We've had their volleyball team, their basketball team, their football team on our turf just to get them over so they can do that. And when they do come over, the coaching staffs and the players are there cheering for them. So they do see it. They can be part of something bigger. And you started to ask me, how do I sell it to these kids? That's it right there. Is a lot of the sports are a numbers game. The joke I've always said is if you give me 8 good basketball players, I got a good rotation. You give me 8 good football players, I don't even have an offense. And so some of these sports it's a numbers generated. Soccer, football, the ones that you're putting, a dozen some odd kids on the field or on the playing surface at a time. You got to have these numbers because you're only going to be as good as what you practice against. And if you have an elite set of group of kids and they're practicing against sophomores and JV that are mediocre, it's not that great of a product. You may look great in practice, but when you go and compete against the same level, they're used to something else.
Mark, as I look back in time now, and I'm 44 years removed from high school. Nick, you're probably, about 11 years removed from high school. Times have changed, obviously. And again, just not at South High or East or Central, across the U.S. I mean, not everybody can be a student athlete, whether it's financial reasons, whether it's household reasons. We don't know. We don't know the answer to that question. But the question I ask you, is it still cool? As I graduate from 75, here it is in 2019. Is it still cool to be an student athlete? I remember the days wearing the Letterman sweater, and you got, I went to Pittsburgh High and we had the Block B and you put your little emblems on. Is it still cool to be a student athlete?
I don't know if I think it is. Yeah, otherwise, I'm in the wrong profession. But the fact is no, I still remember the same thing. I remember getting my first letter jacket my sophomore year in the spring, and it was 85 degrees out, and I was sweating my tail off, and I still wore that thing because it was at the very end of the school year, and I wanted to at least show it off and show I was part of something. I think it is still cool to be part of that bigger entity, that bigger group. Again, and I keep going back to these incoming 9th graders. That's what I want them to see. I want them to see they're about to be part of something a little bit bigger. Even though they're going from being the big fish in a small pond to just the opposite, I want them to see that, yes, they're going to be the small fish in the big pond, but there's a lot of other fish that are with them, and they're going to be a part of something great. Not just their sport, cross country, golf, whatever, but the athletic department, that the athletic department does support each other, that we get a bunch of football players after their practice come in and sit in on a volleyball game, that, those types of things. Those are the things that are really neat to see. That's the type of tradition that I want to see established. I heard of a story out in California where the football team was playing in the first round of the playoffs, and they're a little bit ahead of volleyball season. That same volleyball team at that school just won the state championship that afternoon, and the football team was playing that night, and every single one of those girls said, no, we don't want to. We want to go straight back to the stadium to watch the football team. And then the football team won that playoff game, and they took a huge picture together. That's the type of tradition that you see, that once you start getting that, and the kids are taking accountability for their school, for their athletic department, for their sport, I think that's when big things start to happen.
Let me be blunt. Blunt real quick here, Nick. The kids that are coming from Johnson, they know what has happened in the sports, whether it's football, whether it's basketball. We could pick out any sport, golf, tennis. And then I'll use football. They know that half of the South games this year went on a running clock. So as they're coming over and they've listened to you encouraging them to become part of our sports program at South, do they have some hesitancy because, wow, these guys haven't gone here, or is it more parents that are kind of, and I don't want to use the word poisoning, but are the parents kind of the stumbling block for these young student athletes coming over to South?
I think the kids will still do what they are looking to do. I don't think we've ever had a kid say, well, I want to play fill in the blank, and the parents say, no, I don't want you to do that because they're not just successful. I don't think we've had that. I think the kids just need to see that there can be success, and we have had glimpses of success in a lot of different sports.
Right.
A couple of years ago, we had some success in football. A couple of years ago, we had some success in basketball. The girls' basketball team is starting to grow and get better. Our state cheer and spirit, they're doing great right now. So, we do have sports programs that are starting to break through and do things. What we need to do is you need to do it on a consistent level, and you got to do it over a duration of time. That's the next hurdle that we have to face, is don't just win one game by a point. And be shocked and be thrilled about it, but make that the expectation so it happens night after night.
Well, and to find that consistency, something that we've discussed regarding Cheyenne South as well too, where again we've seen a lot of these games, whether it's football, basketball, where again it is situations, and again I'll pick on at least Jeff Bailey's squad this year. Again, it was a rebuild year. It was a tough year for the South High Fighting Bison, but they kind of charged along and tried to make the best of what they could. But it's an argument that I've made and something that we can toss out again. Obviously, we know what the kind of what the answer is going to be based off of the population and just how the Athletics Association does work here in the state of Wyoming. But to find that consistency base, is it something that Cheyenne South, as you or that front office there, could look at of going, hey, with our athletics, talk to Ron Laird and go, maybe to get Cheyenne South, get these athletes at least on that consistent basis to get numbers high for football, for basketball, for soccer, whatever it may be, taking a step down a conference, maybe get out of that Class 4A, let them just kind of battle, where we see on basketball side, we saw Star Valley moving up from 3A to 4A. We see those kind of movements where eventually, obviously it's regarding population, but is it something that Cheyenne South could take a look at, could be a possibility to say, we want that consistency, maybe it's time to step back to 3A and be a little bit more competitive instead of watching these games that are, at least running clocks, so to speak?
You said, is it possible for Cheyenne South to do that? I'll give you the short answer and the long answer. Short answer is no. The long answer is it is done. It's population driven, and it's just that. If that was to have been done, it should have been done in the inception of the school, and they should have. I know Colorado had Valor Christian when they first came in. They started in 1A, if I'm not mistaken, and year after year they moved up. Now their situation was completely unique and completely different, but year after year they moved up in class, and they continue to see that success. I think if you're going to take, if you're going to take a new school, it should start out in that smaller class and wean itself up. And again, I was in probably 2 states ago when the South came out. I think I was still in Nebraska at that time. But when that happened, they thought it would be best to do it this way so they would be able to qualify for culminating events. Because if they did have a population that was driven by numbers and they competed at that lower level, they would not have been eligible for culminating events.
And I'm glad you asked that question, Nick, because, when you have that opportunity, like we talked with Jerry yesterday, like the East High girls basketball team, they reload every year. We already know what Campbell County does, and now in their second year, Thunder Basin, they are into that process of reloading. I would venture to say you would love to see that. Whether it's your football program, and again, Coach Gallus has done a really, really good job since he's come on over. Chad Bryant, I actually think, and I'm saying this to you and looking you straight in the eye, I think if he keeps that group together for the next couple of seasons, we might finally see the Lady Bison into the state tournament, because it's one of those deals where they're starting to know everybody's move, and this is their second season together, and they are varsity kids where they took their lumps.
Well, again, they got young talent as well too.
It's a very talented team, but they stay together. Couple good seasons here, and that could start vaulting that program into reload mode.
Well, and that's just it. You want to see. We're still building, let alone reloading or rebuilding. We are just still building, and that's the thing is, if you could put that kind of class together consistently. And then these kids, then they can go ahead and play. And it was baptism by a fire for those kids. And I've had to do it as a coach, and I see it as an athletic director right now. If you can go ahead and let those kids play with each other at their level and go with each other succinctly go with each other level by level, when they get past JV in their junior year and they've been with each other for a couple of years and they've seen some maybe spot varsity action, now they've seen it and now they're doing it consistently. It's a lot easier than taking a freshman and saying, kicking them in the rear and say, well, here you go, have fun. My coach once told me, time to go to school, son. And that's what they did.
We're talking with Mark Puev, the athletic director at Cheyenne South. We are going to take a time out. We're going to come back, and we're going to have more of our conversation, find out about the programs, and again, talk, go a little year in review and even up to current times with our spring sports as well. Back after these words here on 1480 KRAE.
Are you looking for a pharmacist who will actually take the time to talk to you? Then come to Medicap Pharmacy. We're dedicated to healthcare only, which means we'll fill your prescription quickly, and then we'll make time to listen, answer your questions, explain your prescriptions, and tell you about possible drug interactions.
Medicap Pharmacy will always make time for you.
Medicap Pharmacy, 1947 Bluegrass Circle, next to Texas Roadhouse in Cheyenne. Or call 635-3712.
At Platte Valley Bank, we understand that you have a busy life, and that means you don't always have time to come to the bank. That's why we offer user-friendly online and mobile banking with features such as bill pay, recurring transfers, and mobile deposit, so you can bank how you want when you want to. Whether you prefer to bank in person, over the phone, or online, Platte Valley Bank makes it easy to take care of your finances.
Platte Valley Bank, member FDIC.
You can count on Platte Valley Bank. Community banking for you.
Cheyenne Auto Repair and Service, proven and respected when it comes to the care of your vehicle. For nearly 25 years, Cars has been there to repair and fix those minor problems to get you back on the road without major difficulties. And now, as we do more traveling at this time of year, see Cheyenne Auto Repair and Service first for your car or truck when it comes to tuning it up, an oil change, brakes, shocks, work on your air conditioning unit, and so much more. John and his crew at Cars gives your vehicle the precise detail it deserves. Respect it with quality workmanship. Always bring your vehicle to Cheyenne Auto Repair and Service at 604 West Lincoln Way. Call for an appointment at 632-0498. Open Monday through Friday.
You love the Lennox difference, from collision repair to minor nicks and dents. Certified quality you can trust. Nobody cares about your car more than us. Lennox Auto Body, we do what we say. We fix it right and get you on your way. No shortcuts, no compromise. Lennox Auto Body. No shortcuts, no compromise.
Lennox Auto Body at 1020 Dunn Avenue and the Detail Center at 617 East Pershing Boulevard, Cheyenne.
We're entering our 14th year and still going strong. I'm AJ Miller here at Kia of Cheyenne, and we always strive to make it easy for you to own a quality Kia vehicle for less. Right now, we can help get you into a new 2019 Kia Stinger and really make your day. Kia Stinger comes with an 8-speed automatic transmission, paddle shifters, push-button start, 18-inch wheels, leather seat trim, and heated seats, all standard. Come into Kia of Cheyenne, call 775-0123 or go to KiaofCheyenne.com. We'll make it easy.
When you say Mondello Pizzeria, think authentic Italian. When you say Mondello Pizzeria, think made fresh from scratch. When you say Mondello Pizzeria, think great pizza, delicious Philly cheesesteak, superb hot and cold Italian sandwiches, meatballs, sausage, and special subs, calzones, crisp salads, and great service. When you say Mondello's Pizzeria, think unmatched Italian taste. Mondello's Pizzeria, 1507 Stillwater Avenue, your only true Italian stop for lunch or dinner.
Check out the huge savings this week at Town & Country Supermarket Liquors. Here are just a few of the terrific weekly specials. Check out these Super Radio buys heard only right here. Fireball Cinnamon Whiskey, 1.75-liter bottle, $22.99. Jose Cuervo Gold or Silver Tequila, 1.75-liter bottle, $27.89. And Coors Extra Gold, 30-pack, 12-ounce cans, $16.89. Town & Country Supermarket Liquors on the South Greeley Highway, Cheyenne's low-price leader.
Hello, this is Pastor Nathaniel Ensley with Blessed Hope Baptist Church in Burns, Wyoming, and I would like to invite you to listen to our weekly broadcast entitled Hope for Today, right here on 1480 KRAE, every Wednesday morning at 7 a.m. Our goal during each broadcast is to bring you a simple and short Bible truth that will be a help to you. Sure hope you can tune in. God bless you.
Here's the latest weather forecast on 1480 KRAE.
For today, it'll be cloudy with rain and snow showers likely with highs around 41. If it's tonight, it'll be cloudy once again with snow showers likely with lows around 23 and winds out the north at 10 to 15. On Saturday, it'll be partly sunny with highs around 36. And on Saturday night, it'll be partly cloudy with lows around 21.
Here the season never ends. From Wyoming sports to the Broncos in Denver. From Rockies baseball to talking hoops with Nuggets basketball. Local, regional, and national. This is Wyoming Sports Talk Today, right here on AM 1480 KRAE.
We are into the spring sporting season. We'll get into the spring sports, and again, Mother Nature usually wins more than than South High does. But looking back, and you know, again, I know once we get to June, it's almost like, well, it's Miller time, but you know, the job doesn't, you know, you're not like a regular instructor. You still are on call, so to speak, you know, for some type of athletic notice that might go on with South. But let me ask you this question: as we go back and review, you know, the cross country, the volleyballs, footballs, tell us a little bit your thoughts on the seasons that these coaches had during the fall, moving into the winter when we got into wrestling and basketball, swimming. I mean, again, all of these wonderful facilities that you offer over at South.
Yeah, you know what? Like I said, it was kind of a consistent year for us, going from last year to this. You know, sorry, and we had so many sports going on. I know our volleyball team, I think they took a real step far. They were a lot better this year. They were so much more competitive. There was a couple really good teams in the state tournament that they flat out played with. You know, and that's the thing. And we alluded to it earlier that you got to go from first, you know, getting pummeled to now we're at the point where we're starting to compete a little bit, where you get over the hump and you start hopefully getting a few wins. You know, it doesn't have to be a lot, but you start to get them where you start to believe that, yeah, it's not a hope, it's an expectation, and that's where you got to go. And a lot of these girls in volleyball have transcended into basketball, and Coach DeBryan is doing really good with that program. And you said earlier, I hope they can stay together for the next couple of years, because a lot of them were sophomores that started this year, and they're going to be a special crew. And I think that, you know, you get that crew, and then you get the belief, and the younger kids start to see that I can do it too.
You know, one of the tough things that I see in your programs over there, and again, this is no disrespect, Mike Lepore has been taking care of Central for many years. Paul Hartigan now has Cheyenne East. You got right behind East, Prairie View. You got the airport golf course where Coach Lepore can get his kids out there. Golf still struggles a little bit at Cheyenne South. Obviously, you could hit balls on South Greeley Highway. I don't know, but tell us a little bit why that program is struggling a little bit.
Well, it's just, you know, those are country club sports, that and tennis, that you struggle. We don't have a feeder program. We don't have a group we don't have a junior high group that does it. So our coaches have done a really good job of trying to get some of the kids, and they've even approached the tactics of, all right, you're not doing football, you're not doing cross country, have you ever held a golf club? Or, and to that point, to the point where Coach Haig, our golf coach, now he's doing some youth camps in the summertime. Again, trying to get these kids, and we go ahead and go to the elementary triads and try to get these kids, hey, give it a shot. You have opportunities here. The kids cannot play in competition at the high school while they're still in junior high, but they can come up and practice, and we've had some kids do that. So, it's trying to develop it that way, and maybe we have to be a little bit more assertive about what we're doing than some of the other schools in the state, because they have that history, they have that natural phenomena. It just matriculates up that I go here to elementary, I go here to junior high, I go here to high school, that we're trying to establish that at South.
Well, it's something that at least is established at Cheyenne South and has been for quite some time, at least more on the kind of activity side, but again, does deal with athletics. Something that you're rocking right now is South, at least Fighting Bison cheer squad, state championship. They continue to kind of dominate right now. Just talk a little bit about what Cheyenne South kind of brings on the cheer side of just how phenomenal that kind of product is right now.
Coach Robert does a wonderful job. She has, first of all, you start at the beginning. She has at least 4 or 5 little kids camps throughout the year. She gets those kids in the building. She works them during the school year. You get at least one for football, one for basketball, where they got a camp the days that lead up to a game, and then at halftime they do their little thing and whatever. And it's just a really neat thing to get all those kids in there, get them all excited, and get them believing that this is what I want to do. And so you get them doing it that way. Last year, of the 5 categories in state dance and spirit, we won 2 of the 5. This year we won 3 of the 5. And that's just, it's really neat to see that success. It's neat to sit at that table just like I am right now with the 2 mats out in front of you, and for 6-7 hours you're just kind of looking left and right just because they got 2 different competition floors, and it's just neat to see what they do. That you're on the edge of your seat during the entire performance, and to watch the coach, the expectation she has, and she holds these kids accountable. She does a great job. And like I said, any young coach that is generically asking the questions of how should I do it and what should I do, I'd use that as a prototype, because I think she knows exactly what's going on and how to do it.
Speaking of coaches, you've had some that have departed. You've brought in some new coaches, but your thoughts on the coaching staffs that you have for the various athletic events going on throughout the course of the year.
I'd like to say that if I was ever say that, you always try to improve your staff. And that's not saying that somebody that has left was a detriment or is right. That you're good. But you always, when a coach leaves, and especially when a coach leaves and you have the highest regard for them and everything, you hate to see him leave. And by the same token, you also want to see somebody, if they got bigger dreams, better things they want to be doing, and you've got to support them as a friend as well. And then again, you just look for a good fit for what you are trying to do. And that goes everything from, you look at the kids you have and you look at the concept that you're trying to put in as an athletic department and how will they fit. And again, I told you on or off the air, I don't know, I was looking through some old files and I saw just some various things, some various interview questions that I was, as I was going through the files, and some of the questions that you want to ask. You get out of the mode of, all right, how high do you want to be here? You don't want to use just humdrum questions. You actually want to
find those unique to make them think.
Yes, yeah. You want to make them think. You want to see, and you want to be pertinent to the. I don't want to ask the same football questions I do for track. There's a certain set of things that you want to get across and get out of a person to see, is this the person for this job? Not just a football job or a volleyball, this job. And here at South High right now. That's what I try to get out of them.
Spring sports, soccer, track and field, pretty much dominating for this time of year. Tell us a little bit about the programs.
Track and field, they're going on down. I have not gotten a chance to see them as much. The most I've seen of them was before a soccer game last night. I was up in the booth for about an hour and a half, so I got to watch them practice all around the track and field. And I'll tell this story real quick, and it's a shout out to those kids out there that I love the kids at our school. They're running their track practice all around, and at 4 o'clock I make my sportsmanship sounds. So we do the lineups, and ladies and gentlemen, please stand and remove your hats for the national anthem. We start playing the national anthem, and I look all over the track and field, and the people in the pole vault pit, shot put rings, all up and down the straightaways, they've all stopped what they're doing for the national anthem. We had, and it's the dumb athletic director's fault that I started it doing. Some kids were finishing 100-yard, and they're at around the 80 when I started it, but I didn't really think, because they were doing their workout. But if I would have known that they were going to be, they crossed the finish line and they stood there huffing and puffing with their hand on their heart for the national anthem. And that's, that says something about those kids down on the south side right there. I love them to death.
Final thought from me, and we asked Jerry and we asked Chad this too, because both of them we saw, and again, in my case, I saw most of these guys come through the high school ranks as well as becoming coaches into the athletic directors chair. I've asked you this before, I'm going to ask you again. Do you miss the coaching aspect of it from time to time?
100%. Somebody just asked me that today, and you notice I say that without any hesitation. You do miss that component of it. And the thing that replaces that is knowing that what you're doing behind the scenes. Now, as a head football coach, you're up front of a program, and everything you're doing is not only questioned, but is seen. As an athletic director, you're not really necessary, and I don't really want to be. I'll be the face of the program if I have to, but I like the individual head coaches to be all the various faces that are the face of the athletic department. And that's what motivates you, is that everything that they need or the kids need that you're trying to provide for them.
Mark Puev, the athletic director at Cheyenne South, join us here as we wrap up AD week.
Yes.
And let him get off to spring break.
Save the best for last.
And take a week off. Now, just before we let you out, all athletic events, do they cease during spring break?
Not usually. Actually, we usually have to play over spring break. We were this upcoming spring break next week. At least East, South, and Central, the soccer games we were supposed to play against, we actually moved those to a different week because we could. So we lightened the load a little bit. Soccer plays tomorrow, and then they're off. Track and field has a couple meets coming up over spring break, but that's just hazards of the trade.
And we want to thank you and all that you've done for us throughout the course of the season. So we do appreciate it. Looking forward to when we get back together again during football season.
Football time. We'll be here sooner than we know.
It seems like we get out of school in June, and next thing you know, we're doing the first game already. Yeah. Thanks again, Mark. We do appreciate it. We got to get to the top of the hour. We have our next guest joining us in the 4 o'clock hour. We'll talk about that coming up right here on 1480 KRAE.
Capital Lumber is number one in Cheyenne. Are you listening? We're all the lumber store you'll ever need. For electrical, plumbing, paint, and tools, lumber and hardware, we're for you. And we're out to earn your business, yes indeed. Capital Lumber is number one today. Are you listening? Capital Lumber's at your service all the way.
Capital Lumber Company, serving our area for over 53 years at 1222 Dunn Avenue in Cheyenne.
We are the key to your cleaning success. The Key People that provides affordable office and professional cleaning services for over 40 years with exceptional customer care. All of our contractors have background checks and are licensed and bonded. We guarantee you a safe and secure service that is tailored to your individual and business needs. The Key People do not impose year-long contracts, and all quotes are free, confidential, and personalized. Call the Key People at 1-800-468-8283. That's 1-800-468-8283.
MHP is a certified public accounting and consulting firm located in both Cheyenne and Fort Collins, offering accounting, tax, and consulting services to businesses, not-for-profit, government, and individual clients. MHP takes pride in their commitment to providing close, personal attention to their clients. They also continue to invest time and resources in continuing education, state-of-the-art computer technology, and valuing their relationships with you. MHP is a proud supporter of local and UW athletics. MHP, 314 West 18th Street, or call 634-2151. Are you thinking about buying a new water heater? You could spend $1,300 or more on a gas-fired water heater. Or you could spend $0 on a top-of-the-line electric water heater from High West Energy. That's right, $0. High West members can upgrade from gas to electric without spending a penny. Don't you wish all decisions were this easy? Go to highwestenergy.com to learn more or call 307-245-3261. High West Energy, the best choice, the local choice, the right choice for you.
This is 1480 KRAE Cheyenne.
Also being heard on translator K266CC Cheyenne at 101.1 FM.
What you are about to hear is a sports talk radio show unlike any other that has ever before been broadcast in the capital city of Cheyenne, Wyoming, USA. This is Cheyenne, Wyoming's Sports Talk Authority. The Wyoming Cowboys, the Denver Broncos, the Colorado Rockies, and the Denver Nuggets. The show is local, it's regional, and yes, the show is national as well. Wyoming Sports Talk Today is on the air. If they're talking sports on the radio in Cheyenne, this is the place it happens. This is Wyoming Sports Talk Today.
Welcome to hour number 2 of Wyoming Sports Talk Today. It is being brought to you by Marv's Plumbing and Heating at 1515 Logan Avenue, Mondello's Pizzeria at 1507 Stillwater Avenue, Suite D in the Greenway Commons, open 7 days a week. First Tier Bank directly across the street, open Monday through Friday at 1508 Stillwater Avenue. Lennox Auto Body, the auto and truck repair center on Dunn Avenue, and the Auto Glass and Detail Center on Pershing Boulevard. Family owned, family operated for a quarter century. Medicap Pharmacy on Bluegrass Circle next door to Texas Roadhouse. Platte Valley Bank ×2, the east side location, corner of College and Pershing. And, of course, the original location on Vandehigh. Kia of Cheyenne over on Nation Way. Make sure you're kicking a few tires and take home the 2019 Kia of your dreams this weekend. Chick-fil-A at the corner of Windmill and Delrange, serving up 3 squares 6 days a week, Monday through Saturday. See my good friends Ray and Cindy and the crew over at Chick-fil-A across from Menards at the corner of Windmill and Delrange. Jolly Rogers RV Sales and Service over on Highway 30, your exclusive home for Jayco's RVs, fifth wheels, travel trailers, all at great pricing, great packages as far as, interest rates. You'll find it always at Jolly Rogers RV Sales and Service. They don't walk away from many deals, trust me. And again, we want to thank Taco John's of Cheyenne. So if you are ready for some more basketball action tonight, load up on some delicious eats from Taco John's. Oh, yeah, we get to our
There
score.
you go.
I'm
I
sorry.
was going to say, we haven't ended yet.
I'm sorry. We go to our scoreboard with Nick, and it's being brought to you by Pepsi of Cheyenne.
You can't be that senile at this point. Either
I'm
way, though,
110. What can I say?
NHL action for tonight. New York Rangers at home at Madison Square Garden will take on the St. Louis Blues. You will also see the Pittsburgh Penguins at home. They will take on the Nashville Preds. The Detroit Red Wings of Little Caesar Arena, at least shout out to Little Caesars, but either way, they will be at home. They will take on the New Jersey Devils. Colorado Avalanche at home at the Pepsi Center. They will host the Arizona Coyotes, a Coyotes team that is nipping at their heels right now for that second wildcard spot. Calgary Flames at the Scotiabank Saddledome will play host to the Anaheim Ducks. And last but not least, the Vegas Golden Knights, my Vegas Golden Knights at home at Sin City. They will be at the T-Mobile Arena. They'll take on the Minnesota Wild. Speaking of which, playoff scenario, St. Louis Blues, they will clinch a playoff berth tonight if they are able to get at least 1 point, or if Arizona loses in any fashion against the Avs. Vegas as well will clinch a playoff berth since they could it on Wednesday against the Avalanche. However, they can clinch a playoff berth tonight if they're able to get at least 1 point, or if Arizona loses in any fashion. That's what's happening in NHL action for tonight.
In Major League Baseball, let's get you caught up on what's going on right now. Absolutely, Bupkis is going on. Motor City Kitties of Detroit and the Blue Jays, they will face off in the Rogers Center. Astros and the Rays and the Trop Rocks and the Marlins at Marlins Park. It will be the Cardinals and the Brewers in the 6 o'clock hour at Miller Park. The Athletics at the Oco, they will host the Halos, Dodgers, and Diamondbacks tonight in Chavez Ravine. These are the 8 o'clock games. Giants and the Padres at Petco, Red Sox M's at T-Mobile Park in Seattle. On the NBA slate for tonight, well, they are a game behind the Golden State Warriors, and both are in action tonight. That means the Nuggets will be at the Thunder at Chesapeake Energy Arena. Warriors will have the Timberwolves in the Target Center, and maybe we could have both teams even after tonight, or Warriors could be up 2 games. Who knows? It's the Pacers and the Celtics in the TD Garden, Trailblazers, Hawks at the State Farm Arena, Wizards, Jazz in the Vivint Smart Home Arena, Hornets and the Lakers in Staples for this evening. And congratulations to Joe Legerski's Wyoming Cowgirls, 61-60 winners over the Lady Waves at Pepperdine last night.
We will hear post-game comments from Joe Legerski as well, too, coming up on today's show, as I guess they did get the 1-point victory over the Lady Waves at Pepperdine. And again, we'll move on to the Elite Eight there in the WNIT as they will head on to Tucson, Arizona to see the Lady Wildcats of Arizona. Again, Arizona squeaking out to at least, I think, their final attendance over the Idaho.
They had over 6,000, if I'm not mistaken.
6,300 there. So Arizona, with that being said, will host Wyoming Cowgirls coming up this Sunday, 2 p.m., at least 3 p.m. Mountain Time. Again, this Sunday, they're in the Elite Eight of the WNIT.
And with the win, the Cowgirls improved to 25-8 this season. We will take a timeout. We have our next guest. She is the new head coach at LCCC. We will be talking with Keri Coates after these words right here on 1480 KRAE.
Yo, this is your cup holder talking. You know me, the little round thing between your car seats. Now, listen, we need to talk. Now, I normally have a nice cold bottle of Mountain Dew in me, but at the moment, I'm empty. That's right, no Mountain Dew. Nothing in here but a couple of quarters and a dime. A fully capable cup holder like me just carrying your loose change, it's embarrassing. Look, I'm not made for loose change. I'm round like a bottle of Mountain Dew. Glistening, cold, and delicious. I'm made to keep Mountain Dew within reach at all times, so you're never far from that incredible bold citrus kick whenever you need it. Just inches from your hand. So find the store already, grab some Dew, toss it back, then place that bottle where it belongs, and put that loose change back in your pocket. Mountain Dew. Do the do.
For almost 60 years, 1480 KRAE has been Cheyenne's home for good times and great oldies. Add to that live play-by-play sports featuring high school football and basketball, along with LCCC men's and women's basketball. Now combo that with KYOY-FM, and you have Cheyenne and the area's only locally owned AM and FM radio stations. But we don't stop there. We also have 2 FM translators which serve the area with programming from both KRAE and KYOY. And that equals a lot of bang for your advertising dollar. Radio yesterday and now today, along with our websites, web streams, and digital ventures, makes us your one-stop shop. For more information, please call Larry Proetti at 307-637-0301.
There's a place where possibilities are boundless, where curiosity runs rampant, where exploration becomes opportunity. With Laramie County Community College, you can discover the best version of yourself. It's time to take on new challenges, to enrich your life, and to create the future you deserve. Your story unfolds. Laramie County Community College. Apply today. Visit lccc.wy.edu/yourstory.
MHP is a certified public accounting and consulting firm located in Bow, Cheyenne, and Fort Collins, offering accounting, tax, and consulting services to businesses, not-for-profit, government, and individual clients. MHP takes pride in their commitment to providing close, personal attention to their clients. They also continue to invest time and resources in continuing education, state-of-the-art computer technology, and valuing their relationships with you. MHP is a proud supporter of local and UW athletics. MHP, 314 West 18th Street, or call 634-2151. Emergencies can happen anytime, and Marv's Plumbing and Heating, 1515 Logan Avenue, available 24/7, is here to take care of them in the quickest possible manner. Marv's Plumbing and Heating provides the highest quality service for all your plumbing and heating needs. So if you need bathroom remodeling or a commercial heating contractor for your latest building project, Marv's Plumbing and Heating will provide you with the most dependable service at a reasonable price. You can always count on Marv's Plumbing and Heating. Give them a call at 316-7634. That's 316-7634.
Here's the latest weather forecast on 1480 KRAE.
For today, it'll be cloudy with rain and snow showers likely with highs around 41. If it's tonight, it'll be cloudy once again with snow showers likely with lows around 23 and winds out the north at 10 to 15. On Saturday, it'll be partly sunny with highs around 36. And on Saturday night, it'll be partly cloudy with lows around 21.
You bleed brown and gold? So do we. Wyoming Cowboys football and basketball is always front and center on this show. This is Wyoming Sports Talk Today, and it's here on AM 1480 KRAE.
Larry Proetti, along with Nick Proetti, and the newest coach out at Laramie County Community College, so we'll get a chance to see her quite a bit now when we get back out there doing our thing. Keri Coates, we welcome you first to Cheyenne. Second of all, I guess you probably haven't unpacked everything, so you're probably still living out of suitcases right now.
Yeah, correct.
You just got into town this week, and again, the tough part for you is you got to hit the ground running because you got a lot of holes to fill, and before you know it, volleyball season will be here.
Yes. So just even coming in this week has been relying on my players and my assistant to just help me right away. The athletics department has been
And then what I want to do real quick is get to the resume of Keri Coates. Again, you came to us from the College of Southern Idaho. You an assistant, or and again, tell us a little bit what you were doing up there. And obviously, you look like you played a little volleyball in your day as well, too.
I did, yeah. I'm actually originally from Twin Falls, Idaho, which is where CSI is located, and I did play for them when I finished high school. And after that, I was able to transfer on to University of Oklahoma and play for the Sooners to finish out my career. Once I did that, I went right into club volleyball coaching, moved back to Idaho, did a little high school coaching in that, and then about 2013 is when I joined on with CSI, helping them, mostly training middles. Was able to help them win a championship in 2015. So spent about 5 seasons with them, just really enjoying what I do.
So basically, for a long time, you've been able to live and breathe volleyball. So again, you've been through this, you understand. So at least now taking over the head coaching position at LCCC. So it just seems like it's kind of a perfect fit for you to at least hit the ground running, so to speak.
Yes, yeah. I felt most comfortable if I was going to take on a head position. I would probably go for a JUCO position. I played it. I've helped coach it. I've been around the game. I know several of the other coaches already, and I know what kind of level of athlete we need for this.
Now, you were an instructor prior to coming here to Cheyenne, right?
Yeah, I was actually teaching 5th grade for a couple years. I really just did that to fill holes during the volleyball stuff while I was doing club volleyball and that.
So now you have volleyball full time on your schedule. So, and it's interesting too because when we've had discussions with the coaches before, especially at the JUCO ranks, you got your season. And it'll be pretty much when school starts and you're ready to rock and roll, and you go through the bulk of the year. Then after that, you're out recruiting, or are you recruiting all the time?
I think we're always looking in the fall. We're kind of looking more for kids to fill out questionnaires and just so we have an idea of them. And you definitely want to leave open their state tournaments for high schools to see if you can't get out there and do that. But mostly that focus in the fall is for sure on our own season. The nice thing about JUCO volleyball is that it finishes right before Thanksgiving, and that's right about the time that club volleyball starts. So it makes it easy for us to get on the road and start recruiting through a club aspect instead.
How tough is it going to be, at least for you this season, heading in, again, new head coach of LCCC volleyball, a team that is, for lack of a better word, decimated by former head coach Austin Albers, who pretty much took a lot of those players down with him to CSU Pueblo to play volleyball for Coach Austin. But right now, how difficult is it going to be to fill? You got to fill a lot of pieces. And do you feel like you have enough time to get enough pieces here for LCCC volleyball?
I was a little bit nervous about that, but fortunately I was able to attend one of the really big qualifying tournaments for club in Denver. So it's a huge recruiting pool, and from that I felt like my assistant Maddie and I just really took off in terms of names that we can start contacting. So we've already had 3 recruits in this week. So it's been nice. The other thing is the freshmen that are still there that are returning, they're a good crop. So they are really going to help in terms of, do these players fit? Can we handle this?
Is there any pressure, and again, not to put it on you, Keri, but was there any sense of pressure coming into at least LCCC where what Coach Albers was able to do with this program, kind of build it up to where it is a top 25 program, but it is a team that has made it back-to-back to the national tournament? Is there any added pressure to, at least with you heading into this first season, to kind of carry that momentum for this program?
Yeah, there is pressure, but it's pressure that I like. I came from CSI, and you came in with a championship mindset, and knowing that LCCC has been so successful in the last few years and has attended the national tournament themselves and done very well, my expectation remains the same. Next fall, we would train with a championship mindset in place. Pressure that all of them need to have on them.
It's interesting, and we had this conversation off mic and want to get it here live on the air, where we've had the basketball coaches in, and they have that opportunity, and with us, we stream, and other coaches can watch games and scout or maybe go to that next level as far as looking at a youngster and saying, hey, we'd like to have him go play here at this school. You don't have that opportunity where, because they subscribe to, if I'm not mistaken, to a service where they can.
With the NFHS. Yeah.
Well, not even that.
Yeah.
But they have a service they can subscribe to. You don't have that luxury in volleyball.
No.
It's one where they either have to send you or you have to be on the road seeing them.
Mm-hmm. So we really do require and rely on just our prospects to send information to us as much as possible. JUCO, we're not necessarily recruiting younger ages. We kind of are on the bottom of the totem pole in terms of that. So we're really looking for those unsigned seniors. And when they're really hurting for schools, they're going to reach out to us for sure. So it's nice to get them, but having them kind of on your radar, at least as a junior, helps with that for sure.
Now, obviously, you coming from Idaho, I mean, you have a, again, we said this when Scott Noble went down to western New Mexico. Hey, he at least had a pipeline in Cheyenne. You have a little bit of a pipeline, so to speak. You've seen a lot of those student athletes up there through their high school careers. Anybody or any one or two or three that you might be looking at to possibly woo to come down here?
Yeah, when I was at CSI, I was actually also running our local club program, so I was in contact with a lot of that Magic Valley area and even a little further out. One of the recruits we brought in yesterday is a setter from Twin Falls. She did a great job, and so she's one of a handful that I have reached out to in terms of if I'd want him to come on. Plus, I have a few on the radar for the next couple of years.
What about the recruiting process? Again, with basketball, obviously each sport is different. Tell us a little bit how the recruiting process goes with you. You watch them, you talk to them, you bring them in. I mean, how is it that simple?
Yeah, it kind of is at the moment. For this spring especially, I really just have to say, can you come in and practice? We need to see you in person kind of thing. So I'm looking for kids who are a little bit more within driving distance to make that happen. If it's the right recruit, we would fly them in and do that kind of whole official visit.
Would you take walk-ons as well, too?
Yeah, I think walk-ons are really important. They finish out the roster in the right way. You want good kids who just help with practices, maybe earn that starting spot, maybe earn the scholarship for the next season. And I think they're crucial to any team.
Now, for a local talent, obviously not being here in the state of Wyoming, especially here in the city of Cheyenne, we do have talented, at least programs, whether it's at Cheyenne East, South, or Central, again, just kind of in here in the Cap City. But is it an important kind of goal for you, or at least have you already outreach to local ADs and other head coaches as well to volleyball programs to kind of introduce yourself and just say, hey, have a chance to kind of meet their talent at the local high schools?
I haven't been able to do that yet, but it's definitely on a priority list. I want to know the local kids. I was a local kid when I signed on to play in college, and it just it feels good to have people to cheer for when you're just locals around town. And that we had a local come in today for a recruiting visit as well. So we're just excited to see if we can't produce that extra excitement around this area.
You seem to be pretty calm about this. Is it a little overwhelming right now? Again, you were teaching school here, a week ago, but you know your business in volleyball. Now you have your own office at LCCC. Is it a little overwhelming knowing that, hey, I got to get this taken care of, I got to get this kid signed, hopefully these kids will come? I mean, do you feel sometimes a little overwhelmed?
I feel better now that I'm here. When it was overwhelming was probably a couple weeks ago, where I was still teaching and training a new replacement for myself in the classroom, and still trying to help in terms of recruiting and how to set up my own, human resource packages, that kind of stuff. So middle of March was definitely my overwhelming time. I'm here now. I'm ready to move forward.
Coach Albers mentioned to us before he departed about the size of the gymnasium, which we call basketball, for both the
ever lovely rack, where again, the men and women. It's an inch short that we can host the regionals there.
But you looked at the facility right now. Again, you've played in them all. Again, especially at the D1 level. Is it disappointing?
It's not. I think people want to assume it should be because it's smaller. There's not a lot of bleacher size. For volleyball, though, I think we rely on an intimate atmosphere like that. And even at the Division I level, when I was playing at OU, A lot of those teams play in field houses, and it's nice because the crowd feels on you, and you just feel even more encouraged and motivated to keep playing your hardest. And one of the best examples of that before they got their arena was Nebraska volleyball, and they had this great field house where fans were just, it felt like they were on top of you. And in a smaller environment, I feel like we can make it work just fine.
Now, do you have any say in the scheduling, or is that schedule already mapped out? We already know that you got Region 9 North opponents for conference, but do you have any other games
so right
that
now,
you
I've been in the process of just scheduling home and aways. On the schedule, we will have Western Nebraska at home. We'll go to them. Same with NJC. So we just set those two up in the last couple days. Right now, we're planning on attending preseason tournaments at Iowa Western, Yavapai down in Arizona. We are going to CSI's tournament, so I'm really excited about that because it's going to be great competition. And then we'll probably have a bye weekend and finish it off with the WyoBraska. Kind of go over
nice little homecoming for you, Keri, but also to a little pressure for you, at least to show a little dominance up there in Twin Falls at that tournament too.
Well, also too, and I think it's kind of making it a little bit easy for you as you made the trek down to Cheyenne. Obviously, you have a knowledge, or you've been friends, I guess we'll use the word, with athletic director Clark Rasmussen.
Mm-hmm.
So that kind of makes the transition a little easier as you get here to Cheyenne.
What I really love about that the most is that Clark and I, coming from CSI, we both have the championship mindset, and it's nice to think, why couldn't we go win a championship for ourselves at a different school? So I love that we're on the same page with that, and he's such a big fan of volleyball anyway. It's nice to have an AD that supports that.
Well, Keri, we're looking forward to chatting with you when the season gets going, and again, let you get your feet on the ground and go all over the place and round up some gals to join you over at LCCC. We wish you all the best.
Thank you, guys.
Keri Coates, the brand new volleyball coach at Laramie County Community College, is joining us here on Wyoming Sports Talk today. We're going to take a timeout. We'll come back with more after these words.
Let First Education Federal Credit Union help make buying your next car a breeze. At First Education, you get competitive rates and deal with friendly local folks. Be in control by getting pre-approved and know what you have to spend before going to the dealer. Call 432-7400, go to firstedfcu.com, or visit us in person at 120 West Carlson Street with approved credit, membership eligibility required, federally insured by NCUA.
What's the difference between buzz driving and drunk driving? The answer is none. Buzz driving is drunk driving, period. Make sure you make responsible choices that don't endanger yourself and others. Take the pledge today. I'm going to be smart. I won't drive while buzzed. One drink is one too many when you're on the roads. If you drink, have a designated driver. Don't become a statistic, and don't get arrested. Simply put again, buzz driving is drunk driving. And always remember to buckle up. Paid for by Federal Highway Safety Funds.
1480 KRAE is your home for live play-by-play coverage of high school basketball and football. Hi, this is Nick Brody inviting you to hear all the play-by-play calls of East, Central, and South football and basketball. You'll hear the conference action along with the postseason, and during the basketball season, 1480 KRAE features both boys and girls games. Catch all the exciting calls on AM 1480 KRAE, also streaming the games worldwide on the web at 1480KRAE.com.
When you say Mondello Pizzeria, think authentic Italian. When you say Mondello Pizzeria, think made fresh from scratch. When you say Mondello Pizzeria, think great pizza, delicious Philly cheesesteak, superb hot and cold Italian sandwiches, meatballs, sausage, and special subs, calzones, crisp salads, and great service. When you say Mondello's Pizzeria, think unmatched Italian taste. Mondello's Pizzeria, 1507 Stillwater Avenue, your only true Italian stop for lunch or dinner.
We're taking Cheyenne, Wyoming Sports Talk Radio to a whole new level. This is Wyoming Sports Talk Today.
Don't look at me. I think these people are completely nuts.
Stop this crazy thing! And it's only here on AM 1480 KRAE.
We talk this time of year about advancing. And I know everybody uses the term survive and advance. And I always say in any postseason run, you have to find a way to win, and it may end up being from defense, and it may be from player you didn't expect. I thought Teresa was big for us tonight. Her and I talked this week about her goals in the future for her, what my view of her here at Wyoming. She knew she was going to get into the game tonight, and I thought she brought an energy to us, a toughness, and when they went small, I had a faith to stay with Teresa, and we went to her, and she delivered. And I thought that was really big. And then I've talked all along about what's made this team magical is the senior leadership and the talented freshmen. And for a large stretch of that second half, we had 3 freshmen on the court, and they delivered. And they play with so much confidence. Carla Arovitz does not want to quit playing. You could see her kind of take over, and we knew at the end we were going to go pick and roll with her and let a freshman make the decisions, whatever was best. And she sure did. And then at the end, we had fouls to give. We took time off the clock, so now it was down to 3 seconds. And we knew that we had to make somebody else try to beat us. And so we ended up switching every screen to make sure that we had somebody with a hand up on everyone. And I always tell people, sometimes the ball bounces your way. Tonight it bounced our way because it hung on the rim. It seemed a long time to me before it bounced off.
18 win, Joe, is, I mean, as much as any game this year where everybody contributed, and you did it down the stretch with one of your senior stars, Marta, not on the floor.
Yeah, we talk about team, and it's never about what's happening for any one individual. It always happens about for what's best for Wyoming. And tonight, I thought Slajana gave us a big lift. And you take a look at the rebounds she had. She had 8 rebounds, none bigger than the 1 offensive rebound she grabbed. She's 2 for 3 from the floor, played really well. And Slajana was playing well. And so we were going with Slajana down the stretch. Now, we got to be better than 1 for 4 in the last 40 seconds from the free throw line. We could have made this thing a lot easier on us than what it was. But I really thought that the atmosphere, which was electric tonight, I can't say enough about the Wyoming fans. The students came out, everybody was up, and I think the emotion of the game got a little big for Marta and Bailey early. And trying to get them calmed down and just to relax. And sometimes that's what's best about freshmen. They're just having fun. They're not used to how big maybe the moment is. And we played well as Wyoming.
Feel like you have that advantage in the paint like you did, 40 to 18? How's it going?
You know, we took a look at things, and we knew that they were going to end up taking our threes away. And so when that ends up happening and teams switch you, they were switching everything on the perimeter, and that does not allow for three-point shots. But what it does allow for a lot of basket cuts, a lot of ball dribble, drive to the basket, and we were able to take advantage of that. And I thought Taylor Russ took advantage of it as well as anybody. She even went down, posted up a couple of times, and we got her the basketball. So when you take a look at the game, the way it plays out, we're not high assists tonight. We're not a large number of threes tonight, but we had 40 points in the paint, and we still come away shooting 46%. What I take a look at is that we were 8 of 15 from the free throw line. And sometimes the free throw line will tell you exactly where your focus is. And it isn't that they were ready to play. I think the 2 seniors in Bailey and Marta wanted it too badly. And they were just really clutching to it and trying to will it instead of just letting the game come to them.
Joe, when you put things together, you guys are really relying on the 3-on-1. Maybe had 2 games in a row where teams have taken it away. How good is it for you to see your players adjust so easily to go back?
Tracy, it really is. We talk about how we have to run our offense differently. The cuts we have to make and where you have to look to take the basketball. And so to be able to see that number tonight, 40 points in the paint, really tells me we adjusted to what was happening. And when I looked early, we missed several lay-ins early. And I think once again, the hype of the game, as we talked, this is the 3rd round of postseason. The games get bigger. No team gets easy. Pepperdine, their 2 games, they came back and won. They play extremely well. Give them credit. And so once again, it was just a great ball game. And as it keeps advancing, the energy level needs to be there. The focus and composure needs to be there. And as I always tell them, just have some fun with what you're doing.
Okay, so you just talked about how you had freshmen on the court, 2nd and 3rd quarter. How do you keep Bailey and Marta on the bench and have your freshmen on that court and trust them to be freshman leaders. They're freshmen, and then to come out with a win like this with freshmen on the court.
One of the things we talk about all the time is we have team success because everybody can step up. We talk a great deal about making the next pass. There's a motto we have: there's a good shot, there's a better shot, there's the best shot. And so what ends up happening is everybody has faith in each other. Now, I know as a coach, that experience of those seniors is very important, and you still look. I had Bailey back in there at the end to run that pick and roll. But Carla has played so well this year. I know she's a freshman in standing, but we're right now, I've played 33 games. She's probably playing 30 minutes a night. She's a tremendous competitor. I really take a look at Carla out there, and she's asking the crowd to stand and cheer. And all of a sudden, the thought of freshmen never exists. It's just Wyoming players. And to our seniors' credit, they're there pulling for those young players also, because they know it is about advantage.
At a drive-through window. When you order your next prescription from Medicap Pharmacy, call ahead and use our drive-through window. Or you can call for free delivery. You can even log on to Medicap.com and order a prescription refill. Your Medicap pharmacist will call you to make arrangements for pickup or delivery.
Medicap Pharmacy will always make time for you.
Medicap Pharmacy, 1947 Bluegrass Circle, next to Texas Roadhouse in Cheyenne. Or call 635-3712.
Wisdom, expertise, compassion, qualities that are the foundation of Cheyenne Urological, with Doctors Bryant, Everett, Legerski, and their highly trained staff providing top quality treatment for prostate cancer, urinary tract infections, kidney stones, impotence, and incontinence. You can trust Cheyenne Urological to give you the highest quality urinary care. Now offering the latest in robotic surgery. Call Cheyenne Urological at 635-4131. That's 635-4131.
We're starting our 14th year, and we still believe in putting you first by making it easy to own a new Kia vehicle. I'm AJ Miller for Kia of Cheyenne, and right now, we can help get you into a new 2019 Kia Sportage for less than Honda CR-V, Toyota RAV4, or Ford Escape. The 2019 Kia Sportage comes standard with power adjustable rear view mirrors, rear camera display, remote keyless entry, and more. Come into Kia of Cheyenne, call 775-0123 or go to KiaofCheyenne.com. We'll make it easy.
Are you tired of paying ATM fees? Hi, this is Rick Flood, president of Platte Valley Bank in Cheyenne. Use your Platte Valley Bank ATM or Visa debit card at any ATM anywhere. We won't charge you a fee on our end, and we'll reimburse any fee you incur at any other ATM. That's right, no ATM fees at Platte Valley Bank. How about that? Platte Valley Bank, 3310 North College Drive and 421 Van High Avenue, or pvbank.com. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Community banking for you.
Here's the latest weather forecast on 1480 KRAE.
For today, it'll be cloudy with rain and snow showers likely with highs around 41. If it's tonight, it'll be cloudy once again with snow showers likely with lows around 23 and winds out the north at 10 to 15. On Saturday, it'll be partly sunny with highs around 36. And on Saturday night, it'll be partly cloudy with lows around 21.
Fat, lazy, and stupid is no way to conduct a sports talk radio show. We've thrown down the gauntlet, upped the stakes, and made it clear that when it comes to sports talk radio in Cheyenne, there's a new player in town. This is Wyoming Sports Talk Today, and it's only here on AM 1480 KRAE.
We are back on Wyoming Sports Talk Today. Kind of the home stretch for today.
How about saying a few thank yous today of who's joining us?
Why don't you do that while I get my cord untangled here?
Well, since you can't figure that out. But anyways, though, thank you to Cheyenne South AD Mark Puev joining us today, and also, too, as we just at least heard a few minutes ago from new volleyball head coach over at LCCC, Keri Coates. So, again, thank you to both of them. Also, too, want to take at least chance to say thank you on air, as earlier today we had Bob Jiha in, at least here in the 1480 KRAE studio, along with also, too, again, the Cowboy State Daily. Did a little piece on 1480 KRAE, yours truly, and Pops across the way, at least at least outreach to us about the history of 1480 KRAE. So I do want to give a big thank you for Cowboy State Daily for stopping by the 1480 KRAE studio earlier today as well.
Guess you'll be able to catch that on Facebook.
Facebook, Twitter, I would assume as well too. And again, we'll once they get that all squared away, we'll pass it along on our social media sides as well, whether it is on Facebook for both 1480 KRAE and also to Wyoming Sports Talk Today, and then also to on Twitter at NickWyoSports. That's how you find all the social media stuff. Where again, once that video is posted, we'll gladly share it with the rest of you folks of just what they came by to talk with us about today.
Yeah, sure.
I'm glad you're just kind of there.
I'm gonna leave you hanging.
You're just a big old lump.
No, we got more basketball, college hoops.
We got plenty of basketball still left, especially here in the state of Wyoming, as we just heard post-game comments from Joe Legerski. As again, they will move on to the Elite
All right,
Eight.
let's get to the big boys now. All right. So
the big boys are over there in Laramie right now. The Cowgirls. Who's bigger than that right now?
That's not the big boys, though.
All right.
But let's look at what happened last night.
All right.
Virginia.
You're going to pout about it?
Well, no, I'm kind of disappointed in Oregon. I actually thought Oregon was going to pull that one off last night.
Yeah.
Am I wrong to say that they let Virginia back in to win that thing?
No, but
Virginia had no business winning.
No, again, that's where they should have exited out of the NCAA tournament. And, I guess some kudos to Virginia of weathering the storm and eventually coming back in that contest. But no, they have no business moving on. And Oregon, as much as it isn't a sweet, or at least a Cinderella team, even with the 12 in front of them, they're really not a 12 seed. And they kind of proved that. It is a team that is still, again, in part of that Power 5. Again, playing in the Pac-12, they know how to play basketball. They played basketball pretty well. They're taking on, the Baylors of the world. They're taking on big names from across the country. So, but Oregon, you should have gotten it done. Same with Tennessee. A little disappointed in Tennessee, a team that was anticipated to be there along with Duke to at least.
But that was a good matchup, though. It was a really good matchup.
I didn't anticipate great. I didn't have Purdue out of the first round. I thought they were going to lose their first matchup. I think again it was against Ohio State, if I remember. But I did not anticipate this Purdue team, even though again they are a 3 seed. So
Purdue beat Old Dominion. And then they beat Villanova. They ousted the current.
I think I had to lose it to Villanova if I remember my bracket right. But either way, though, for the Boilermakers, I did not anticipate them to be at this point in time making it to the Elite Eight and upending Tennessee, a team that was anticipated to be kind of at least fight for that national championship.
But the game delivered, though. I mean, it was a 99-94 game. It was a good game last night.
Yeah, it was good,
but
Purdue, the outcome is just a little surprising.
But Purdue probably was the best team out of that Big 12 division. They're better than Michigan. Come on.
Well, they prove it now again with Michigan losing as well, losing to Texas Tech, which is no surprise to me. The Red Raiders again. They're a team I have faith that will make it to the national championship.
They murdered Michigan.
Watch out, Gonzaga. Right now for the Zags, they might be the dominant team in the NCAA tournament. I give the Bulldogs all the respect there. But Texas Tech, this is a team that everyone should have had on their radar, and right now they're kind of proving why of. This team has a good shot to make it out of that bracket and possibly take down, if it comes to that matchup, Duke as well, too, to make it to that national championship. Texas Tech is a phenomenal outfit.
Hey, Gonzaga and Texas Tech, I think
that's going to
be a good Elite Eight matchup. Then you have
either way for me, it's bonus. I've always pulled for the Zags. Mm-hmm. I like that team. Again, being around, seeing a few games up there in Spokane. I certainly pull for Mark Few. I pull for those mid-major schools again out of the West Coast Conference. Even though Gonzaga is a brand name, it is a big name in NCAA basketball, but they still play in the West Coast.
But they always find a way to peter out.
Well, they're not doing it now. They're not. No, but this team is showing that they are not slowing down any point.
Well, again, they're going to be tested very, very much.
They will by Texas Tech, absolutely.
You look at Virginia. and they struggled in the first half against Gardner-Webb in the traditional 1 versus 16.
I'll say this: they don't get past Purdue. If they do, I'd be very surprised.
This is what I'm alluding to. You know, Oklahoma, the Sooners they sucked. They were bad, and I thought they were going to beat Virginia. Then they take on Oregon. I figured Oregon was going to win this thing, and Oregon coughed up the game. That's all I could say is Oregon had everything going their way, and they just found a way to lose it.
Yeah.
Against Purdue, I think Purdue is just bigger and stronger.
It's not a matter of bigger or stronger. Sure, that is good on paper.
But you know what
I get that. They should be on paper the better team, and I hope that Purdue does get the win against Virginia. I have no faith in Virginia, but they kind of disproved me so far here in this tournament. And again, that's a mantra that's put on the Cavaliers, especially going back last year of where they were upset early. Again, the first ever 16 seed to get at least up in a number 1 seed, it came against Virginia. This is a Virginia squad kind of Gonzaga, the Gonzagas of the world of past where, hey, they get the high seedings, but they could barely make it to the Sweet 16, barely can make it to the Elite 8. Well, now we're kind of seeing those two teams that have had those bad marks. They're actually surprising a few folks. More so Virginia than the Zags, but did they have any business beating Oregon last night? No. The Ducks should have won that game, and they shot themselves in the foot.
Exactly. Now, you look at tonight's matchups, Duke and Virginia Tech. You look at
Duke should win that one easily.
You look at LSU and Michigan State.
Michigan State should get that one.
And then you got you got Houston and University of Kentucky.
Kentucky should get that.
To be real honest, those are 3 games I can care less about.
Yeah, I'm not too excited.
I think the marquee matchup tonight is UNC and Auburn.
Yeah, I was going to say with UNC, but even then,
I think that's the mark. Auburn has been the Tigers have been the team that everybody's got their eye out for right now because they
knew. Again, right now it is the team across them, at least with the Tar Heels. Right now, UNC, that is
I know they
the
are
team.
Good, but Auburn, the way they have progressed.
Yeah, they've progressed very well, and again, surprise a few, but right now they're going to walk up against a brick wall that is UNC and the Tar Heels. I think for Auburn, their time in the tournament finally comes to an end. There's, again, not to be at least biased, where, again, I have the Tar Heels winning the national championship.
Right.
And I think they still have a great shot at it. And I think they're going to prove that here, at least tonight, against Auburn, of saying, no, we are for real. I think they kind of established dominance of what the Zags have been doing of, no, we're here to win this whole thing. Just get out of our way at this point in time.
Again, Auburn they've been quietly.
I don't think they test UNC. I really don't. I think UNC is that much more talented. I think they are that better of a team.
I think this is going to be a lot closer than people.
I don't think so. I really don't. UNC, I put them on the same vein as Gonzaga, where they should just easily. I give them a 16-point victory in this game. 16. I think, and I think they can.
If they win by double digits,
I think
it wouldn't surprise me either. Yeah, so I'm not going to. But I think Auburn's going to give them a game tonight. I really do.
But the 4 matchups tonight, nothing is really that impressive. Again, Kentucky over Houston, I think that should be an easy one, or at least it might be close, but I still think the Wildcats should take care of business. Michigan State, LSU. That's a little bit more intriguing because is it a Michigan State that was a little too overhyped, kind of their counterpart with Michigan, again, with the Wolverines losing to Texas Tech. Interesting to see who is the better kind of seed out of that one, of that 3-2 matchup. And then just looking at least around, Duke should easily take care of business against Virginia Tech. I don't think they have a struggle. I really don't. Yeah, they should not struggle.
This is the game,
but granted, this is a Duke team that came 1 point away from losing to UCF.
That's what I'm just saying. This is where
so I don't know what
Duke
team's going to show
have
up.
That letdown.
Yeah, again, what Coach K's team is going to show up on the court, you really don't know. But I would have hope and belief it is that team that is destined to make it to the national tournament, or at least people think that should win the national championship. I think maybe that UCF game was a nice wake-up call for a sleeping giant that is the Duke Blue Devils now of, all right, hey, we need to play basketball. Hey, we can't afford a loss or we're going home. Hey, we can't afford to play down to our opponents. No, we got to play Duke Blue Devil at least basketball right here and now.
Well, we'll see if Mike Krzyzewski has them all ready to rock.
He's the coach I would have the most at least confidence that could least make his team kind of believe in the system.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, he knows what he's doing. He's won how many championships? He's won how many gold medals with Team USA? He knows what he's doing.
Year. All right, let's move on to the National Football League.
You want to talk about Cowgirls? I got stats here for fun. We could talk about the WNTI. I mean, that's kind of the big thing right now here in the state, I would assume.
I guess we go to the Cowgirls stats, and then we'll come back to the National Football League. Because
I could care less about the NFL.
This concerns the 49ers.
All right, but again, I think right now, Cowgirls.
And then the other part of that is that Alliance Football League, American Alliance Football League.
It looks like it should fold.
It looks like it's ready to die.
I hope it does.
It didn't take too long. Again, just so you understand, you and me are on the same page here.
Okay, that's an NFL-owned property.
I know, and they want
that
more,
is NFL.
They want more NFL young talent.
There you go, but that's up to the Players Association. So that's the NFL eating itself alive.
Well, I'm just telling you right now, it's another springtime league that is failing.
That's an NFL-owned springtime, at least, thing. Again, that is the NFL eating itself alive.
All right, well, I'm just letting you know.
So the NFL screwed that one up.
I'm just worried coming up for next season. All right, going back to the Cowgirls game last night, and again, we heard comments a few moments ago from Joe Legerski, 61-60. Cowgirls improved at 25-8, so again, their season continues on. 51-34, I do believe, was the attendance last night. So tip of the cap to all Cowgirl fans that showed up, and that's a testament to this program.
Showed up. Yeah, fans did make the at least trip on over to Laramie. So again, it was a good effort by at least Wyoming fans. Unfortunately, again, you have to compete with the metropolitan area that is Tucson, and they showed up for Arizona since the Wildcats, at least men's basketball, is not tournament bound, or their season has already come to an end. So it makes sense that the metropolitan area, Tucson, at least for Arizona, they show up for their sports. They're on the same vein as kind of Cowgirls.
I would think if the Cowgirls win Sunday afternoon, again, tap time 3 p.m., I would venture to say they'll come back home for the Final Four.
It really depends, because you look at on their same bracket for the Final Four. Cincinnati will take on TCU. This game will be at TCU, so they're in Fort Worth. So you got the metropolitan area, Fort Worth, Dallas, to attend that contest. That's at 1 o'clock coming up on Sunday as well, at least 1 o'clock Central Time, so that would be 2 o'clock. So they'll both be playing at least an hour, at least apart from each other. But again, without knowing what the crowd was for TCU versus Arkansas, even though Arkansas hosted that game, you wonder what it's going to be like. Will if Wyoming's able to move on, will we have another home game at the AA for the Wyoming Cowgirls, where you do put up big names, Cincinnati, TCU? Again, you're already on the road against Arizona, Pac-12 team, so you like to hope so. But who knows at this point? Who knows how many are going to show up at TCU out of Fort Worth for an Elite Eight game?
And also in this situation here, with the Cowgirls going to Arizona, this might be good for them to get out of the AA. Because, you come in, and I don't mean this in disrespect, because it's a great place to play. But like Coach Legerski said, a couple of the kids came out too amped up last night.
Yeah. So bring it back down to reality by setting them on the road.
Bring it down a notch, and let's get our heads focused, and let's get after the Wildcats. One of the things I did like about last night's game with the Cowgirls, they only had 4 turnovers.
Well,
that's pretty good.
They're pretty good on turnovers throughout the at least season. We saw in a few contests, or at least kind of leading up to where they are now, they've taken care of the ball pretty well compared to the counterpart.
Your ball handlers are the ones that are not making the mistakes. So, and then Bailey Cotton had 3 blocks last night, very significant for her to have the 3 blocks, 15 points. Again, the scoring ledger was only 61 points, but pretty much after Bailey Cotton, pretty much balanced scoring. The kid from Pepperdine, Robinson, was it Bacody, if I'm not mistaken, 26 points? Wow, she was 10 of 23. I mean, she was not afraid to launch shots last night. But Cowgirls outscored Pepperdine in the first quarter, 15-8. Pretty much consistent, 15 points in the second quarter, 16 for Pepperdine. Pepperdine made that run there in the third quarter with 18-13 run, so they got within one.
And Pepperdine had a shot there with a few seconds remaining where it could easily have gone the Lady Waves way, where they would have moved on to the Elite Eight. They did have a chance to at least get the victory against the Wyoming Cowgirls last night, but at least good defense by the Cowgirls, and again getting the 1-point victory over Pepperdine. Again, we'll move on to see Arizona in the Elite Eight coming up again this Sunday.
This was another contest for the Cowgirls. And
it's another test. It was another test.
Well, but also, too, it's one of those games where they got up by about a dozen points in the second quarter, and, you got a chance to seal these teams away early. Or like they did against, you go back to UNC, where they
had the 11-point or at least lead, and then eventually you just whittled on that.
Yeah, next thing you know, it's a 1-point advantage. They let teams back in it.
And that's the scary thing moving on, where we're seeing better and better opponents now in the WNIT, where how much of this luck can continue on for the Wyoming Cowgirls? How much more can they afford to give away those large leads and not be able to kind of just tuck teams away and basically keep them well out of the contest? Will they be able to afford a comeback from an Arizona Lady Wildcats team?
Well, again, you look at the stat sheet again, Nick. They were outshot by 7 shots. They did not have a good night at the free throw line. They were 8 of 15.
Which is rare.
Barely over 50%. And again, another game where they were outboarded.
Yeah.
38-33. So a good test for the Cowgirls as they beat Pepperdine.
But now you're moving from a mid-major school of Pepperdine playing in the West Coast Conference to now here it is. It's go time. It's against a bigger school. It's against a Pac-12 opponent, and right now it's kind of gut check time for the Wyoming Cowgirls. And again, these issues that we're pointing out, in my opinion, you can't afford it. You can't afford it against Arizona to get that win on the road in Tucson, where you would anticipate again, where they had about 6,000 there in attendance at Tucson. Probably anticipating a little bit more of a packed house now with the Elite Eight at least implications. It's going to be a rowdy environment. They're used to that rowdy environment, but you need to get over that, and you need to play crisper basketball now because it just gets that much tougher.
Yeah, every step. When you're in tournament action, moving through the brackets is tougher and tougher.
Looking at other teams around as we kind of looked on the left side of the bracket for the WNIT of who's still remaining, the 4 teams, again, as with the Wyoming Cowgirls, they'll take on Arizona. Cincinnati will take on TCU at TCU this Sunday. On the right side of the bracket, you look at another Elite Eight matchup. It'll be Northwestern taking on Ohio. Northwestern will host that game coming up at least tomorrow. And also, the other 2 teams getting in action on Sunday as well. It'll be James Madison. They'll host Georgetown. So those are your Elite Eight remaining in the WNIT. Again, your Wyoming Cowgirls are one of those 8 teams still playing for a championship.
Absolutely. 3 o'clock tap time coming up Sunday. Sad notes, and again, for those of us, and again, I know I have some of my friends stream with us on the left coast. And
you have friends?
Yeah. And we are of that age that we watched this gentleman play football. He was in the backfield with one Hubert Dixon, talking about running back Clem Daniels from the Oakland Raiders. He had
well over my head on that one.
Yeah, well, and again, as you'll hear what I have to say here, you'll understand why. He was 83 years old when he died. Daniels played 9 seasons of pro football, starting with the old Dallas Texans of the AFL in the 1960s. He spent the next 7 seasons with the Raiders, where he had his greatest success before finishing his career with the 49ers in 1968. Daniels' best season, you ready for this one? Came in 1963 in the first year under head coach Al Davis.
Ugh.
Daniels led the AFL with 1,099 yards rushing in 14 games. Also had a league best 22.8 yards per catch as running back. Daniels' 5,101 yards rushing in the AFL were the most ever in the league, in the American Football League.
Yeah.
Not the AFC. So just so we know.
The AFL and not the NFL.
That's right. So, again, Clem Daniels passing away. And then I was reading here, going back to the 49ers, why he's even speaking at these meetings, talking about York. And he's kind of, how do I describe it? Saying that, Lynch and Shanahan, yeah, you know what, they're at the midway point of their 6-year deals, and you know what, they're still my guys. Well, Why is he even saying that?
I don't know, because he's an
idiot. Yeah. I mean, I'd rather have Pops York running the team than this clown. What a goof.
Oh, again, hopefully that the 49ers, again, this is a footnote. He's always talking with his foot in his mouth. Organized at least with personnel, coaching staff, so even with Lynch out there, hopefully they don't bat an eye at this and just kind of play football and focus on the 49ers at least to improve this season, and if not, get back into the playoffs. So again, Jed York, he's on the same vein as those other wacky owners of, why are you in the public?
I know.
Just make your money and shut up.
And write a check. He appreciates the way Shanahan and Lynch have gone about rebuilding the roster and is a believer that the team is acquiring both good football players and strong locker room personalities that has yet to translate to the desired wins. But York recalled the time it took for Scott McLuhan and Trent Baalke to build the team that went to 3 NFC championships.
Trent Baalke was his boy, and then eventually said, yeah, it's not working for us, you got to go.
Put a fork in you, you're done, pal. So, and then the other thing from the National Football League, I guess, will this now be dubbed the Sean Payton rule?
It is, certainly.
Where Sean Payton
you can now
whined about it, cried about it, and New Orleans cried.
I think he has a valid
All right, but he has a valid point, but there was 3 other missed calls against the Rams that weren't called that game. I mean, the NFL officials are doing this to themselves.
Well, and right now the NFL, it almost begs a question of, should they just replay every play at this point in time? Because it seems like that's where we're
see it on TV every play.
I'm just saying, it seems like it's at that point where the NFL, is it something that they need to seriously look at, or are they seriously looking at right now that they're going to just review every single play? And again, with technology, with computers, where, again, you can have that, you can see the lines, you can have those accurate angles, you can know exactly where ball placement is. Is it something that the NFL is now just heading of, we just got to review every single play at this point? Because it's something like this, again, where you can now challenge this play, review it. I get both sides of the argument, but I would rather, as much as it's weird to say, leave it in those hands of the refs, where it's like that's what they're paid to do. They're supposed to at least make those good judgment calls. I think more so, I as I kind of give hard times for refs, I'm more leaning to the side, or at least for the refs, where I think NFL refs just have way too much on their plate.
Well, yeah,
they're making bad calls because they got way too much to look at.
They're bogged down with too many rules, too many stupid incidents.
So I don't blame them.
So, but again, the NFL refs, just so you and me are on the same page, they have basically put that nail in their coffin. But also, too, maybe they're showing that protest to the NFL, like, you got to, this book is like 8,000 pages. It's like reading War and Peace.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Is it something that the NFL should just look at right now, of just saying, we replay and review every single play on the field? I mean, we have the technology where it probably could happen, and it's a good possibility. It's not good for the game, clearly, but right now with how many rules, how many just different variations.
So a 2 o'clock kickoff at Mile High, we probably will get out of there about 6:30.
Yeah, I think that's a reality. Again, games are getting long.
It's like going to a college football game.
I was going to say, NFL games are getting to that point where they are extending because, again, you have to replay. You have to look at every single thing.
All right, we got to roll. No fooling. We'll be back Monday from 3 until 5 as we flip the calendar over to a new month.
Monday we'll have an interesting guest.
We will?
Well, I haven't talked to you. We'll have to pre-record with the gentleman, but we'll finally have him.
Oh, okay.
Talk more basketball.
All right, sounds good.
As the phone's going off.
Yeah, and I don't care who's calling me. They know better not to call me right now.
Anyways.
We